Hi guys, it's Tanisha and I'm back with another video. Yay! So this video is gonna be all about my updated cath lab experience. If you guys don't know, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for about 3 years now, specializing in med surg. A few months experience in IMU, and now I'm in the cath lab. So like I said, if you've been following me, you know that it's been a dream of mine to be a registered nurse in the cath lab, and so I finally got that opportunity about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months. So basically, if you're interested in seeing where I am at now currently in the cath lab, what I'm doing, how my orientation is going, how long it's gonna be, then just keep on watching. Oh yeah, and don't forget to click the subscribe button, okay? Tell a friend to tell a friend, give this video a thumbs up, and now let's get into it. Okay guys, so like I said, it's been about 2 months since I've been in the cath lab, and really it's kind of chaotic right now, but I'll just kind of take you through to how everything kind of is going and is where I'm at. So the first 2 weeks of orientation, I was in AOD, which is basically the admitting portion of the cath lab. You have patients who come in from outpatient, from home, from doctor's office, wherever the hell they're outpatient, and they're coming in because they have a planned procedure. They come in, we get consent signed, start an IV, do any other further testing that we need to do, get fluids hanging, basically prep the sites that they're gonna go in, prepping them for the procedure. We give them education. The doctor comes and speaks with them. Anesthesia will come and speak with them depending on what's getting done. And from there, we ship the patient back. So that was my life for 2 weeks. We were doing that for 2 weeks. And then after that, we were in the recovery portion. So the PACU. And we were there for 2 weeks. So with that, basically we get the patients after they're finished in the actual lab. So once the procedure is done, the cath lab nurses call over to the PACU, give report. They tell us what procedure they did, what size sheath they used, how the site looks, if they used any blood thinners, any complications that went on, what time they took the sheath out, or what time we need. It's a lot of things that go on with the recovery process, but we get all of that in report. The patient comes to us, and depending on what type of medication they used in the cath lab, so like blood thinners, we have to wait a certain amount of time, run a couple of blood tests before we can actually pull the sheath. So we pull the sheath and we educate the patient, basically letting them know they cannot move that leg for the next 4 hours. They can't sit up for the next 4 hours, all that jazz. It's a whole spiel. So I mean, if y'all really want to know what goes on in the cath lab, let me know, but I'm just letting you guys know like an overall thing of what I did. So that was that. We did that for about 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks. And then after that, we went into what's called the procedure room for 2 weeks. Now, I was only in the procedure room for 1 week because I had PTO from when I was on my last floor. So basically in the procedure room, they're doing the transesophageal echocardiograms, they're doing cardioversions, tilt tests. I haven't yet to see what a tilt test is. We never got the opportunity, but basically we've been doing the TEEs and the cardioversions, and so they'll come, we make sure the consent is signed, hook them all up on the monitors. The physician will come in and they'll do the procedure, and that'll be it. So if you guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and just let you guys know. If you don't know what a TEE is, or a transesophageal echocardiogram, basically ultrasound where they look at the heart valves and they look at the chambers, make sure they want to look at the structure of the valves, and then they want to look at the chambers to see if there's any clots or if there's any regurgitation or anything like that. And the physician will come in and take a look and do those procedures and interpret what he sees. And he will talk to the family, and that's that. So all we're doing basically is making sure the consent is signed, any medications that need to be given, hooking them up to the monitor. Anesthesia is in there as well. CRNAs are in there. They're giving the propofol, monitoring the vitals and things like that, and we're documenting. We're watching the vital signs too, but really anesthesia is taking over. So that, and then you have cardioversion, basically a patient who has atrial fibrillation, atrial flutter, and they want to convert them back to normal sinus rhythm. They do the cardioversion, so we just hook them up to the monitor. First of all, we do an EKG before and an EKG after to make sure that they're in normal sinus rhythm after we shock them. And then before, you want to make sure, before the procedure, you want to make sure that they're in atrial flutter, because there's no sense in shocking a person if they're back in normal sinus rhythm already. So we do that. And that's really all that I've seen in the procedure room. They said something about a tilt test. I have no idea what that is. Never thought to look it up. Don't really care about it, honestly. But yeah, they do that. And a lot of times they do the TEE and cardioversion together. A person that's in atrial fibrillation, they want to do the TEE to make sure there's no clots in the atrium, because if they shock that person and they didn't check to see if there was a clot, guess what? They got a stroke coming on, heart attack, whatever. It's coming. So that was basically what I did in the procedure room. So now I'm finally in the cath lab, and it's been going good. I've been in there for about, well, last week was my first week. I usually work Tuesday through Friday, 6:45 to 5. So, but everybody that's there is like, don't get used to that schedule. Take advantage of the schedule, because a lot of times we don't know when we're leaving. So I've been taking advantage of that. Full advantage, okay? 5 o'clock, baby, I gotta go. But no, it's been really great. The first 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, I just was observing with my nurse. He was awesome. He was very knowledgeable, very smart. I will say, like, it really is kind of intimidating, especially coming from a med-surg unit. You don't see a lot of the equipment at all that you see in the cath lab. So it was just really, I was literally a sponge trying to soak up as much information as I could. Low-key, I feel like I was kind of overloading myself, but like everybody says that I've talked to, you know, just give yourself time to learn the ropes. Give yourself time, be patient with yourself. It's a lot of information, but eventually you'll get it. So I've just been trying to keep that in the back of my mind and just be patient with myself. But so far it's been good. So like I said, the first 2 days I was with the nurse. So typically it's the nurse is either circulating or they're documenting. They can also scrub, but usually they have scrub techs or radiologists, rad techs, I think that's what they call them. I think the radiologist technicians, they can scrub, and they also there's another rad tech in there that controls the x-ray portion of it. So I was with the nurse. The first 2 days I wasn't really able to do much except observe documenting, because when you're in the lab, you have to wear lead to protect yourself from radiation. So I was in the back just observing, documenting, watching, you know, seeing how they document, what they're looking for, what the doctor wants, just learning the ropes behind the scenes. And then the circulator, they're the one that set the patient up. Well, anybody can pitch in to help set the patient up on the monitors, talk to the patient, explain what's going on, and get medications that they need, any instruments, whatever the case is. And then the scrub person is there. They're the ones setting up the sterile field. They scrub in, assist the physician as needed. And that's that. So like I said, I was just observing my first 2 days, but Thursday is when it got on and popping, okay? Y'all, I was so lost on Thursday. Literally, that was my first day scrubbing in. So part of the orientation is scrubbing in with the scrub techs. So she had me scrubbing in, baby, and I was so scared and lost, okay? Emphasis on the lost, okay? So the scrubber, like I said, they get the sterile field together. You need to know what type of equipment the doctor likes, what size glove they use. It's a lot, okay? It is so much, and I've never been in the cath lab before. Honestly, don't even know. I know what type of procedures I had an idea of the type of procedures that they did, but to sit up here and say that I knew the instruments, that I knew exactly what they do, that's a lie. I did not and do not. So it was just a real shock to me. So once that happened, like, I was kind of like freaking out on the inside, but luckily the preceptor that I was with was amazing, and he was very knowledgeable, and he was showing us as we was going. He was throwing us in there, and baby, I was lost. I was so scared, y'all. I'm not even gonna sit up here and lie. Like, I couldn't even open up the sterile gown correctly. It was a mess. It was such a mess. It was such a mess. But I got through it, and I learned so much from it, and yeah, so it was okay. And then Friday, I scrubbed in with somebody else, a different rad tech, and he was amazing as well. I pretty much just observed that day because I'm an observer. I have to see it multiple times. See it, and then I will try it. So, I was pitching in. I was pitching in every now and again. And so those 2 days were definitely an experience for me. But it was very good. I had a lot of fun, and it was very nerve-wracking. But yeah, so this week we have classes all week, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 4:30, and these classes are specifically for the cath lab. We learn everything we need to know. So they gave us a couple of books that are like this thick, and it just goes over like EKG placement, EKG rhythm interpretations, valvular disease, signs and symptoms, stroke, the procedures that they do, the carotid endarterectomies, stenting, TAVRs, ablations, pacemaker insertions, angiograms, right heart caths. All of that is in here, okay? So I've just been kind of like reading over it, just so, because I can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing and what to expect and what to look for and all that jazz. The scrub tech did give me a couple of instruments to kind of like get familiar with, so that I will be able to be familiar with them, know what they're used for, know how to use them. And yeah, so we're here right now. Today we went over, we had like a little skills portion where they went over kind of like some ACLS stuff. We went over drugs, medications that they use. We went over ventilation, trachs, and we went over external pacing. So that's basically it. Tomorrow, I believe we're going over, what are we going over? We're going over drips, and I think that's pretty much it. So like I said, I've just been a sponge in this whole experience, trying to soak up as much as I can. Our orientation, I will not be off orientation until about September. So it's gonna be a while. I have so much to learn. It is so much going on. It's really intimidating. It really, really is. But I'm trying not to let that take over me. I've just been trying to soak it up. So yeah. everything's been going really good, guys. I have not been posting because I've literally been so focused on this, so forgive me. But if you guys want to know like more about what they do, let me know what y'all want to see, y'all. I might just go ahead and throw some videos out there as I'm learning, some educational videos. So if anybody else is interested in doing the Cath Lab, you'll get a better understanding and idea of what goes on through me. Jeez. But they do have professional videos out there if you are interested in that as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. That's the end of this video. I have class tomorrow, like I said, from 8 to 4:30. So what time is it now? It's about 6:30 now. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow me on my social media and show some love there too, girl. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Mwah.